And we are back now, coming in with that replay that we are here to cast. It is going to be a TvZ between Frost and not PNG, Jpeg, coming down the best of all image formats.
There you go. There you go. For those wondering, we have just concluded ESL Cup Asia, and we're going to be getting into a replay cast, a viewer replay cast. If you want your own replays casted, you can also do so by redeeming it in the chat. We do have a point redemption to redeem a replay cast.
Yeah, and it looks like this game was actually played about 11-ish hours ago. So a very recent game, and one that... yeah, it has to be very, very interesting, to say the least, if it's being redeemed immediately.
Yeah, we've had quite some clown fiestas from Frost in the past. She's been very kind by sending in some crazy games that I've been forcing Asher to cast. But, you know, here today, we're going to be able to cast this one with you. We can bear witness together as to what exactly did occur here. We're going to be loading on in. As you mentioned, it's only one game. It's going to be on Gressvan. Already, I'm a little bit concerned. Gressvan is known to be quite a long macro-oriented map.
Yeah. It is going to be one game, but you know what? This is one game that's going to bring the entire tournament home for either Clan Donkey or Clan This is the one game that it's all predicated on, you know?
There you go.
I forgot I can't go to you for in a replay, as in your cam. But anyway, we're going to be jumping straight on in to this TvZ Best of One Grande finale. That's how grand it is. We're kicking it off here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, where we have our red Terran player coming down from the land of America, if I remember correctly, representing Clan Donkey. Look at that clan tag. Look how beautiful that donkey is. You love to see it. Good hair. That's what I say. We have Frost.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have their opponents.
It's Kerwin.
I love it so. It is Kerwin. We have the blue Zerg player representing Clan. It is Jpeg. Not PNG. We're drone scouting?
Oh, that's already the most clownish thing that we're witnessing here.
This is why we're watching this game. A drone scout coming out from Jpeg, not very common at all, is going to disrupt the opener a little bit. Frost is going for set beyond opener. The two Raxes on the low ground are upon us. Meanwhile, Jpeg across the map going for a hatch gas pool opener.
Indeed. Very, very safe. Yeah, very, very safe. I want to say old school, but it's not like the hatch gas pool ever fell out of favor. It's just, I'm a little surprised that we are seeing a drone scout into a hatch gas pool in this current era. It just seems like it was something very, very common a couple of years ago, but nowadays, not as much.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a little bit inefficient from our Zerg player here, but I guess they've been hurt in the past and they're more concerned with being safe and scouting, less so with being efficient with their initial units. As we do see a CC behind this, Reapers are on the way. I'm excited to see how Frost is going to adapt here and what kind of variation we see from her in this matchup, whether we go into a 2-1-1, into a 4x, into a 3x. Already the first Reaper does get a drone.
Very nicely done here from Frost. Jpeg was playing safe, but he was playing safe, or they were playing safe economic. So yeah, not really that many Lings to be able to deal with this. The Queens aren't out just yet. A second drone goes down.
Yeah, I may have missed the opener, but I believe Jpeg forgot their Queens, or delayed Queen production, because the Queens are very late, and we saw that an insane amount of damage has already been done. 2 drones go down. Cancel! And the gas geyser is completed as well.
Yeah. a little bit too early for a gas geyser to be out at this point.
Yeah, so again, just wasn't able to cancel in time. This is a really rough start for Jpeg. The Reapers are going to be laying siege upon this hatchery. Quite a lot of damage is already done. This hatchery shouldn't go down. These queens can waddle off of creep, and they can fend this away. And yeah, it looks like they should be able to save the space. Behind this, Frost is going into their third base, their third CC.
Yeah, no 2-base all in.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that today.
Appreciate that Frost is giving us a reprieve from that. Another drone goes down to these Reapers. Oof. And another drone goes down to these Reapers. The Reapers have not been dealt with just yet. One of them will finally go down, but not before 5 drones and 2 lings in total have been taken out.
Yeah,
3 lings even.
Exactly, like the Reapers finally get cleaned up, but as you mentioned, looking at the units lost tab, this was already well worth it for Frost. Already did more damage than it ever needed to. And back at home, we are transitioning, working on Marines. We have Stim on the horizon, Jpeg going straight into that lair. Pretty standard lair timing here from Jpeg. So yeah, he's just gonna try to recover. Has a lot of recovering to do economically.
I'm waiting for the moment where everything just goes topsy-turvy. Everything's been looking standard. It's a really great start here from Frost.
It is.
A start that I think most Terran players would dream of getting, but not too out of the ordinary. I'm waiting for something to to go awry.
It's like you're watching a horror movie and everything is like all like, wholesome and beautiful. You got a family and they just got a kid and all this stuff, and it's a horror movie.
You see the 2 teenagers. They're very clearly in love.
Yeah, and you're like, someone's gonna die. So like this story, it's not gonna be a happy ending. We're not gonna get a standard game because otherwise Frost wouldn't have redeemed this. So because of that, I'm really curious to see how this goes and where this leads us. As you mentioned, so far this game has been very standard, very in favor of Frost, and so far Frost has been looking more dominant than their opponent, than Jpeg. And we'll see where things go, as Jpeg is actually rushing into a very fast Hydra dam.
This feels like 2017. And I think you can, I think we can both kind of sense where this game is going from here.
Did Frost redeem this because we're gonna see are we gonna see a Lunker rush? Is that what's about to happen? I'm feeling Lunkers on the horizon. I don't know.
Possibly. I mean, we do see a lot of Marines in production right now from Frost. No tanks yet, okay, but they are on the way. So far, Frost is just going for her typical double medevac drop.
Yeah, double drop is out on the map. We did see a lot of lings were forced out here from Jpeg. Hydras are on the way. We're on around just under a 3-base economy here. The problem with rushing into Hydras like this is that, one, we still need some room for upgrades. We don't have a lot of gas to work with, so we're actually not going to have too many Hydras at all. We'll have some of them for anti-air. We'll see if Jpeg can clean this up as the drop is coming in.
Is this just going to be Hydra Pain? It can't be, right?
But
anyway, Frost is going for the medevacs, yeah?
Are we doing Frost dirty? Are we like, have we just become accustomed and conditioned where like it has to be a clown build? Like apes, the masks are about to come off and apes are about to be revealed, and then Frost is like in the chat.
The donkeys are gonna be great.
Like she's like, I just wanted to give you guys a nice game, Papi.
It was just a nice little back and forth macro game that we played on the ladder, It was just, I played well, my opponent played well,
No,
I don't believe you. I don't believe that for a second. Not from any member of Clan Donkey.
True. Mate, if you're on Clan Donkey, it's for a reason, okay? It's because you're about to donkey it up, and we all know this. It's no secret, as we do have this drop here being set up towards the north. There's also that double drop in between the bases, so we have some multi-prong harassment being set up here from Frost. Before that occurs, Jpeg is keeping up for the most part, going to be saturating, getting up to 3-base mining. 4th base is on the way, 5th as well, and yeah, so far nothing too crazy yet. We even have a 4th on the way here for Frost.
Indeed. Jpeg, meanwhile, just try to keep up as best as they can against Frost drops. They are saturated in 4 bases and getting a 5th base about to finish up as well, so things aren't looking too bad. They're just teching up on their own. Well, I say teching up, it's more of getting upgrades on their end, getting groove spines to be able to deal with these medevac drops a little more effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And they will help alleviate some of the pressure, especially if we believe that we can't keep up with the drop play. The spines are now done. Tanks are moving forward, though. The leagues are coming from behind, and they're going to get on top of the tanks.
Just like so. Marines are able to kite back away from Banelings. Only one of them will be going down. Very hot pickup coming out from Frost. Tank count does get reset, but at least the bio is alive.
Yeah, the bio does survive. We have the double drop coming into that natural base. Does snipe the queen, but is going to get shut down. So far, a solid defense here from Jpeg, and this should allow Jpeg to drone up to around 80. We should see an influx of workers as we head towards a hive. That is something we are missing, though. Jpeg, it seems like they have forgotten their infestation pit, and as a result, the hive is very delayed.
Forgotten? Or intentionally neglected? As Hydroling Bane, you know? So it's the unit composition of choice back in the day. Huge Baneling connection, but Jpeg is moving very far off of creep. Frost will be able to split effectively enough to keep the majority of her Marines alive and to go for a massive counterattack.
Yeah, Jpeg had a little momentum after shutting down that aggression and those pushes, but that was not an efficient trade. We saw Jpeg lose so many Banelings, did get a lot of SCVs, yes, and we were talking about Jpeg droning up. Oh my god, 93 workers, more spine crawlers are on the way. There's the infestation pit. The hive is going to be late. The infestation pit is very delayed, but we're headed in that direction.
I'm just looking at the army supply difference right now, Light, and I'm, yeah, wishing that Frost pulls the trigger here.
You're like,
but she is just building up a little bit more.
I understand the concern in your voice here, because again, we're aware of Gressman. There's potential for like an hour-long game, especially if players stabilize and if the map gets cut in half. As you mentioned, Frost does have a very large army advantage. If Frost could probably aim it. You could probably do that across the map. Yeah, and of course take it slow when it comes to dealing with all these Banelings. That's a lot of Banelings, to be fair. But Frost does have a large advantage.
Yeah, she definitely does. Well, at the very least, she knows that she's going to be safe here. So, yeah, she does secure that 4th base. Yeah, 4th base, and should be working on a 5th base as well. Well, eventually, anyway. We'll be working on that 5th base. For now, she's just building up her forces, transitioning away from the tanks and towards more of a Widow Mine composition, which is really good against the Link Bane, but there's still this matter of Hydralists to deal with.
Yeah, exactly, and Hydras are a little bit more ideal against those Widow Mines. At the same time, we have that Spine Forest set up earlier, is going to buy time for the rest of the army to rotate around, and that's really the purpose of it, but a lot of Hydras are going down.
Is that the Clownery? That Spine Forest that early on? And it does get pruned, so...
It does get pruned, but again, it does its job. It buys time for the army to rotate over. The drop is going to be cleaned up. It was not an efficient fight for Jpeg at all. A lot of Hydras did go down. Ooh, but we can see Frost establishing that 4th. The tank line is getting higher. Ghost Academy is on the way. I do think that Frost is going to be contained here and going to be a little bit more defensive from this point forward.
Yeah, it should be anyway. As the tanks will be set up in the back line. Massive wave of Banelings will be trying to connect, but when you don't have a Baneling buffer, yeah, it's a little bit easier for the bio to kite back and to split against just pure Hydras and Banes. Which again, feels like a very 2017 unit composition, but it's not really that effective anymore nowadays.
Yeah, that's the second time that Jpeg has kind of just forced the issue at this 3rd base and traded very inefficiently. You can see that Frost almost has double the army supply once again. Frost has a little bit of momentum, is pushing out across the map. The Spine Forest is gone. This center base is exposed, and Jpeg needs time to rebuild. Very few Banelings, mainly a Hydra army.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I mean, Frost does have a lot of Marauders, though, and not that many Marines, so Hydras do actually trade a little bit better against Marauders.
True.
All comes down to positioning, and yeah, for the time being, Jpeg has been able to stall some of the momentum of Frost.
Has been able to hold on. There are infestors now in the field. Fungals are available. More Hydras are on the way. Mass Hydra is not really an efficient composition at all, especially against a bio army that are just so gas intensive.
Oh. It was in 2017, but yeah, we're not in 2017 anymore. As one fungal lands and it actually damages enough of the bio to force Frost back and to allow some of the Hydras to take out a decent chunk of the bio. Ghosts are now out, however, and yeah, Frost is going to be hunting those infestors.
Yeah, is going to be looking for those infestors. A massive minefield has been set up, but we have plenty of detection, so it looks like Jpeg should be able to clean them up. For the most part, the mines are going down. Big connections, though, on the Overseers.
Ooh. Yeah, finally they do go down, but unfortunately so do the Widow mines. So, yeah, Frost will be chased back once again.
Yeah, the ghosts are exposed. Jpeg has a lot of momentum, almost maxed out at this point. Not an efficient army, but a large army, and now would be a good moment to push up this ramp. There's only one tank on the high ground. Of all times that Jpeg doesn't overextend into the third, when they have an army supply lead, they don't go for it. God damn it.
Oh, look, they have to wait for their infestors to pop out, you know. You have to wait until, you said it yourself, it's a very inefficient army.
It is. I don't think they know that.
Unlike the mass banelings earlier on. It's very efficient.
Speaking of, half of the Hydras go down. Every Hydra's going to be going down. The snipes are going off. The Fungals connect, but a little bit too late as Jpeg's army melts here. Because mass Hydra is not a thing, and they're making more Hydras. They're clowning, Puppy. This is the reason why.
But the Ultra Cavern!
True!
That's why the Hydras were so ineffective this game, is that Jpeg didn't get any ranged upgrades whatsoever. It's been nothing but melee and carapace. So once these Ultras hit the field, oh boy. Jpeg, you know, they were just getting Hydras because you need something.
Yeah, like Ling Bane?
Ling Bane into Ultra? Who does that? You know, that's not a build that champions use.
You know what? You know who you know who would do that?
Nobody does that.
You know who would do that? A PNG.
Exactly.
And we're not PNG. We're going full Jpeg, all right? That's what we're doing right now as the Hydras are being forced back. The EMPs on the infestors are insane as Frost is overwhelming this army. The mass Hydra force getting completely annihilated. We do have 5 ultra. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
That was actually a decent amount of friendly fire.
That was a lot of friendly fire that just went on. Jesus.
Almost all of the Marines have been taken out. Yeah, the only survivors here are a handful of Marauders and all of the Ghosts, to be fair, and those are the key units that you want to keep alive. Marauders aren't as effective against the Hydralists, and the Marines are a bit more expendable. You do want Marauders against Ultras, though.
You do. If you're in the chats, this is a PSA. This is a PSA for the Zerg players in the chat. Hydras, they're a good supportive unit. They're not a good main unit, and that's what we've been seeing here from Jpeg. I'm afraid to look at the unit loss tab. Look at the gas loss right now. 9,000 gas down the drain because we've lost over 100 Hydras. 100 Hydras.
We've lost more Hydras than we have Lings.
Exactly. What's happening? We're just burning money at this point. We're just watching money burn right before our eyes. It's crazy.
I can see why Jpeg is on the clan that they're on because looking at these numbers, you can't help but think, that's amusing. It's not something you see often. I'm for it.
I'm getting upset watching Jpeg play. I'll be honest. I'm gonna.
I am thoroughly entertained watching Jpeg right now. That's the dichotomy.
From here on forward, when I'm making thumbnails for YouTube, I'm making PNGs. All right, no more JPEGs. No more allowed.
Yeah, we need that transparency in our production as Frost is able to force Jpeg into pushing into a very congested choke point. Liberators will finally go down, but they have been putting in a ton of work, taking out a ton of Ultras and Hydras as well. 8 Ultras have pretty much gone down without doing much.
Yeah, they forced a repair on the planetary. That's pretty much all they did, as we do see Frost pushing out, going for a big counterattack. Now, because Jpeg has had a really good economy, I just realized that there's some drones following drones at the very southern base. I don't know if you can see that. They're pretending to work. But despite that, Jpeg has a big economy. They have 93 workers, so they're able to facilitate these losses. Because of their big economy, they can afford to burn money. You know, they're just lighting everything on fire, and they can do so for a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but at a certain point, they're gonna run out of money. They're burning faster than they're earning it.
They really are, especially if Frost is able to force the issue a couple more times. Huge Baneling connections, wiping out just about every single Baneling. Or huge Widowmine connection, sorry, taking out every single Baneling. Ultras without a buffer actually can fall pretty quickly to stim the bio if there's enough bio.
Yep. We're making more Hydras. we're getting back into Hydras.
I like how after a while I can just hear the pain in your voice. It's like, yep. That's what we've witnessed.
Well, really, what we just experienced here, what Jpeg is realizing is that clearly these ultras, they're not working. They were a mistake. So I should rectify that mistake by going back into mass Hydras.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, exactly. I should rectify that mistake by going mass Hydras and getting +3 melee.
That's the other problem here with what's happening. It isn't just the mass Hydra, okay? Miyamika, he makes Hydras work in ZVT, but you know what he does? He gets +1 and +2 range, all right? Like we got melee. We're prioritizing melee upgrades while going mass Hydra. What's happening?
Well, you know, the ultras are going to be even more effective now.
Mate, big fungal, massive fungal on the bio army. Despite that, the snipes are insane. The healing is good enough as well. It was still an efficient trade for Frost.
Yeah, if that fungal was combined with maybe +2 range or a couple of Banelings, then I do think that Frost would be much more on the back foot right now, would be forced into a retreating position, but instead, Jpeg was relying on a handful of Ultras and Mass Hydra. Mass +1 Hydra against 3/3 bio, so yeah, in the end, Frost was able to trade much more efficiently.
What's another file type? what else can I use? It's PNG. It's another big one. XML, yeah.
PDF. I guess PDF technically is for text, but you can have images in a PDF.
You know what? I'll start using
MP4.
that's a bit
stationary, a GIF with 1 frame.
I was gonna say, you know what? I'll even call it a GIF for like a day as well, just to get me out of this game. As Frost is just hurling up back at home, and I mean, it is the Terran thing to do here on this map, but it is the quote-unquote correct thing to do just to be as efficient. I mean, especially with Jpeg just like rushing ultras into you, may as well.
Yeah, I think from where we're looking at this, you know, as observers with perfect vision, we know that there are opportunities for Frost to just go on the offensive, to go for some massive timings, but Frost probably doesn't know that, you know. She is, like you said, doing the correct thing to do as a Terran player on Grassfan, which is to turtle up a little bit, force your Zerg opponent to push into you, and then eventually go for a huge counterattack when you're certain that they're bankrupt.
Exactly, and it's not even just the Terran thing, but like in this game, we have seen Jpeg just commit to these really inefficient fights, throwing away a lot of Ultras, a lot of Hydras, and they just keep doing it every single, like time and time again, and so the likelihood of that happening, like, for that to continue to happen throughout the course of this game is pretty high. Here come the Ultras. They do get a kill on a CC. Frost a little bit out of position, but the Ghosts are arriving.
Yeah, the Ghosts are here. The Liberators are here. The Hydras are healthy, doing something.
Yeah, you know, they're... Yeah,
I just want to point out, I agree with chat here. I agree with ARJ Skater. Hydras are actually a very good unit. You just need to upgrade them.
Wait, that's some serious code. That's Hydras are only a good unit because you can turn them into lunkers, okay? That's typically the consensus.
Hydras are like Magikarp. Lunkers are like Gyarados.
True, exactly. As yeah, we do see like just more Ultras on the way, more bases are being taken here.
Really, ARJ Skater is correct. You just forgot to add a little more to your sentence there. Hydras are good, you just need to upgrade them into lurkers.
Whatever you say, Yaku, whatever you say. His ultras are going to be coming in, and once again, they just get annihilated. Snipes are going off as well on said Hydra's. Big EMPs on the Infestor. We are gaining some ground. The Zerg player is gaining some ground here on the Terran army, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, that was another huge EMP. Another issue, I guess, right here with Frost's, or Jpeg's unit composition, sorry, is that, yeah, they aren't really grouping their army together as effectively. We've seen it a couple of times. We've seen it a couple of times in the engagements. By the time Jpeg was engaging into Frost's army with Ultralists and with Hydralists, the Infestors were lagging behind a lot.
Yeah, exactly, and without those fungals to support, then there's nothing that really, well then, essentially Jpeg just can't really collapse on the army. Has done a decent job with creep and is denying the center bases from being taken, at least the northern one, for at least a little bit longer, so I do have to commend Jpeg with that. But Frost is gaining ground. Liberator Harass is getting quite a lot of drone damage done as well, and Jpeg is still refusing to transition or to refine their army. How many ultras do we have right now? We're about up to 11 ultras.
That's an insane amount of ultras, arguably hitting the point of diminishing returns. I mean, it obviously depends on where the fights happen and where Jpeg chooses to engage. If he engages, or if they engage on wide open areas, if they are able to converge on Frost's army at every angle, then these ultras will pay off. But going into choke points like this, yeah, pretty much make the Ultralist that supply. I could see you die inside for a second as you looked at the production tab.
I was just looking. I was just looking at 5 ultras get sniped and die instantly, and I wasn't dying inside. I'm just disappointed. All right, I'm just disappointed in our Zerg brethren here.
You're not mad. You know?
There's no, there's no anger here. It's only smooch. Oh god, as yeah, the Liberators are actually wreaking havoc, and you can see this one Liberator in the center of the map. That's 20 kills. 21 kills on that one Liberator, despite all the Hydras. Yeah.
I was gonna say, now would be the time to go mass Hydra.
Oh god, here we go. Big fungal in the army.
Yeah, it does allow the Ultralists to converge on top of the Bio army. Most of the Marines and the Marauders have been dealt with, but we still have a very healthy Ghost count, very healthy Liberator count, very healthy tank count as well. The mass repair on this planetary fortress will be keeping it alive. GG is called, and Frost will be taking that victory here, doing it for Clan Donkey. GG.
Go for it. Go for it.
GG. It has been called. That's one hit of the GG button for every 50 Hydras that died.
I should have looked at the resources lost. Oh god, so much gas was just we don't need it, Papi. Apparently we don't need any of the gas. Just make pure Hydra, pure Ultra, and just watch it all die before us. GG, well played. Very solid game out of Frost. Again, keeping a cool, calm, and collected head in the face of some unorthodox army compositions.
Yeah, I think with the perfect information that we had as observers, you know, we definitely were kind of hoping that Frost would go a little bit more aggressive, but you know, Frost with imperfect information was doing the correct thing to do on Gressvan, to do as a Terran player, and of course to do against a player who's just more than willing to throw supply into choke points like that. Yeah, very solid game from Frost. I gotta tell you, Light, I felt kind of bad for a second as we got into the mid game there, you know, because everything was looking standard. You were mentioning it, I was like, did we just have the wrong idea about Frost and the NA server and Clan Donkey? Like, do we always just assume that the replays that are redeemed have to be weird and out of the ordinary? Because this is looking like a pretty solid standard game for both players, and then we saw the Mass Hydra with 0 upgrades on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep. Ah, yes.
See,
we had the right idea.
Yeah.
We know. We understand our viewer base.
How dare you doubt yourself? You're like, have I just been wrong this entire time? Is this just a wholesome replay that Frost wants to give us to just round off the night and just have a nice chill end to the stream? Nah, Papi, nah, we be clowning.
No. We know our viewer base.
we know better than that. Yeah, it's the Frost. Regardless, CG, again, really well done by Frost. What I will say about Jpeg, 'cause I don't want to be too mean, of course, to this random person.
Obviously, Jpeg is much higher MMR than I am, so
far
be it from me to throw too much shade there.
I was about to say that Jpeg clearly had really good macro. Really good macro, was able to establish a lot of bases, was able to drone up very freely, was aware of their weaknesses, and that Spine Force, for example, was designed to buy time and did successfully do so. Decent creep spread, like the macro, like the fundamentals are there. It's just our biggest criticisms, of course, are where the money was being spent and the army compositions that were being brought forward.
Yeah. I honestly feel like it may be a case of somebody who was very dedicated to laddering a couple of years back, and then, for one reason or another, maybe they got busy with real life commitments, just kind of stopped keeping up with the meta, stopped playing for a while, but then, recently had an opportunity to actually ladder. The fundamentals were there, as you were saying, but, Hydra Bane is a unit composition that hasn't been effective since 2017.
And I should also look, you said that a lot today, and I should add a caveat to that, is that even when Hydras are more they were more active in the scene and they were more seen in pro play, it was still Ling Bane Hydra, okay? It was still not
fair.
that many Hydras as well. So like I don't know if we can even say that, but
well,
regardless, entertaining game. GG.
Very much. I was thoroughly entertained watching Light die inside after every engagement, watching the disappointment flash on his face. I haven't seen that since I brought home a B+.
It's true. It's not anger when Yaku comes back with a B. It's disappointment. It's just ay. Oh my god. Speaking of Yaku bringing home a B+, it's kind of similar. If you're in the chat, wish Yaku a happy birthday. I did say it yesterday.
Yeah.
It was Yaku's birthday yesterday. So a belated happy birthday. That is why, of course, I didn't try to drag Yaku on for a cast. Just letting him enjoy his birthday. So happy birthday.
Let the hangover deal with itself. I didn't actually drink yesterday. I drank on Saturday, not yesterday.
There you go.
That's why I woke up at 4 p.m. yesterday.
Oh my god. And if you were around for the Yaku stream, then or if you weren't around for it, then I recommend checking out the VODs. Yaku did have a birthday stream where he did have some fun.
Turned into a highlight now.
There you go.
Or rather, the highlight should be processed by now.
There you go. It does have some beautiful art that's on full display by Yaku, and it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's good stuff because I appreciate all the references, all the Easter eggs, even if some of it looks like it doesn't look like it what it needs to be. It's sweet.
Well,
it's the some artistic liberties were taken. There you go.
Well, I describe what I see.
You're like, canvas, I don't know what you're talking about. It's uncanny.
These are all scenes that I have seen.
Oh god. Check it out on Yaku's channel. It's good stuff. If you click on the Twitch title, you can get a link to Yaku's Twitch. So there you go. .twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do another? We're being offered one more replay cast.
Potentially. Look, as long as it's not a TvT, I think I have enough in the tank to do one more replay.
Uno más. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. We do have an offer. Just catching up in the chat. Donkey supremacy. Oh god.
The donkeys are out in full force.
Mm-hmm.
What's the expression? You gotta let the donkeys out to pasture.
Yeah, let him be free. Let him be free.
Yeah, let them marry a dragon.
Also, a shout out to Blakadoos. In the middle of that, we did have a resubscription from Blakadoos for 8 months. We also had a lot of bits during the break from Sound Others. Thank you so much for the bits.
Hey! Pew, 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 pew.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're just gonna be buying ourselves a little bit of time here. Oh boy, I have to wonder what this new replay being sent to us will entail.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned.
I gotta be honest, I actually don't remember what race Miro plays.
Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. This lurker says, "Happy birthday, Yaku." Oh, okay.
Hey, pew, 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 pew.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What's your age again?
Huh? What? For now, we're gonna be going, I guess, on a short break here. We're gonna try and get Miro's replay again. Join us on Discord. Join us on Discord if you wanna.
Make sure Discord and chat. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have potentially one more game. Uno más. Uno más.
See you then. Un momento por uno más.
We were just